Welcome back. We're here live at the Enright Sportsbook and Lounge, the Guillotine League. Of course, your host and commissioner, Aaron Enright, but I have some special guests with me today. That's right. We got Kara and Ethan Hamby. These are the co-owners of Joe Buck Yourself. Ethan, Kara, how are you doing today?
I'd like to tell everyone to Joe Buck yourself.
Well, Michael's not part of the league anymore, which was your favorite person to
All right, you're
tell
right.
to Joe Buck yourself, but you can tell it for the rest of the league.
That's true. That's true. Mike's gone. Sorry, R.I.P.
Yeah. And also Ethan, he's the creator of Uncle Dude, where that came from, that all my nephews call me by. So thank you for that.
You're
and
welcome.
I did,
It's a
if you didn't
masterpiece.
see, I took on the same method as Michelle this week, and I went ahead and changed my name. So it's just Uncle Dude's Destroyers. It's Uncle Dude Abides. So from the Big Lebowski, if you haven't seen it, make sure you go see it.
No.
All right. Well, let's just talk about last week first. It was a close call this last week. How do you feel about just missing the guillotine?
We were sweating. It was hurting right here. I was hurting right here.
Yeah. Well, there's rumors or allegations about MVP Terry calling the Baltimore's sidelines, speaking to Derrick Henry, and asking him to fumble on purpose. What is your response to that?
Ethan, you have a response to that?
Well, I don't know, why would he do that? That's his player, no? Like, we wanted Lamar Jackson to do well.
What they're talking about is sacrificing for family, that he didn't want to see you two knocked out of the league, and therefore had that conversation with them. However, and we'd like for you to go ahead and respond to this, there's big suspicions, though, that all of a sudden he ended up on your team 2 days later. You want to explain this one for us?
We're players,
no
man.
Comment. No comment.
We did what we had to do, okay?
No
we did
comment.
what we had to do. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry on the same team. That's all that matters now.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you're going to be right in Baltimore this year, and so hopefully they continue to do so, or things are going to be looking a little slim. Well, let's talk about projections. Tell me, between the two of you, who are you looking at potentially being guillotined this week and eliminated? Kara, we'll start with you. What team do you look at right now?
Well, we discussed it, Ethan and I, and of course we had to take a look at what the projection said first, right? Before we look at the team, we looked at on the bottom, according to projections for this week's, is Josh's, what's his name? Frozen Banana?
Yeah.
Yes.
Josh's Frozen Banana. Yeah. We looked at that team and we said, we're not sure about that one. I mean, they put him at the bottom. We looked at the team, the players. We said, he's got some decent players. They've been underperforming, right? So they could be due this week for an explosion. So we're not sure that projection is correct. But since they are on the bottom, we're going to go with they may have an issue this week on that one.
Well, I'm not going to disagree. You have Mac Jones, who's now questionable.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
And he's already had Justin Fields go out. So right now, he doesn't have a quarterback if Mac Jones doesn't show up. So that can be problematic, right? Sure. Justin Jefferson agreed. They have a quarterback issue right now in Minnesota. Yeah. Jefferson's not going to eat. Let's hope that changes soon, because I just picked up I had somebody on my bench that will be playing for the Vikings this week after suspension. But he had Henry blow up last week. But you can't expect Hunter Henry to come back every week and score 2 touchdowns.
No.
Tony Pollard's been a letdown. I think this is a great one to take a look at. Kenny Walker is starting to play a little bit better. Zach Charbonnet is, out right now with an injury. So he's got some plus there. Odunze starting to become a receiver there. So I agree. It's going to be a tougher one. So, Ethan, who do you think? What kind of projections do you see in this week for elimination?
Well, I was looking at Queen of Hurts team here.
Love you, Michelle. We love you.
I think Jalen Hurts and Nico Collins are both very solid. Jalen Hurts, obviously, with the tush push, gets a lot of rushing touchdowns, and that's a lot of fantasy points. But Nico Collins had a good week last week, but the rest of the team here, I'm not very confident in. Terry McLaurin's been pretty bad this year. David Montgomery had an amazing game last week, but I don't know how well he can replicate that as the RB2 against a very good Cleveland defense.
Really
And
good.
Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, we thought he would be the starter. He's not. He's more of a community. It's more of a community over there in Washington, or a system over there in Washington right now. And he only salvaged about 10 points because of a touchdown last week. So I'm not too confident in this team to survive. Uh, I think they're going to be one of the bottom two for sure, but we'll see if they can make it.
Yeah. Well, you got Terry McLaurin. He came up on the injury report. It's a quad groin. They're not sure. They're going to go for second opinion, so we'll see what happens there. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt also came up onto the report this week with a knee injury. Not quite sure how impactful it is. It's Wednesday. People are going to miss practice. She does have my favorite running back, Cam Scatterboo, sitting on that bench, just waiting to get in this game. So
and he did score. He had his first touchdown.
The guy's looking good. He's now the main focus. Tyrone Tracy is out with an injury. He's going to be out several weeks. They also have the one quarterback that I've been waiting to start leading that team there in New York, Mr. Jackson Dart. I don't know if you ever saw him at Ole Miss. The guy is good, and I think that he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. Will he be this year? Not quite sure, but I will find out this weekend. And I think Dan of Maniacs has him started in his lineup.
Oh,
yes, he does. We did see that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I have one of my own that I think is going to be eliminated, and it's somebody on this team's call. It would be myself. I'm a little nervous.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything. I was going to tell you that was our half because Ethan was doubting. He was like,
I'm pretty concerned. I'm pretty concerned about you, Uncle Dude. I'm pretty concerned.
I'm concerned as well. You got Marvin Harrison.
We're finally safe.
You're like,
don't say
not me. But remember, the ones who got projected were not the ones who got eliminated. So, well, actually, I think Jason did say something about Papa, but I have to go back and look at the tape.
Actually, I think it was you that said something, and he's like, "I won't root against him.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for you, Papa." But yeah, we did notice. Ethan was like, "Huh, there's some things going on with Uncle Dude's team here."
Uncle Dude Abides has some issues. CeeDee Lamb going down. That was my number one pick. Not good.
Those wide receivers.
Harrison. Like I said, Travion Henderson, Calvin Ridley, all these ones that, had a lot, especially Calvin Ridley and Travion Henderson, they had a lot of hype, at the beginning of the year of what they might do in these offenses, but they're certainly not doing that. My bright side's been the combination of James Cook and Dalton Kincaid. And I can't rely on them every week, right?
Yeah.
Trey Tucker had a blow up, Las Vegas. I don't think you're going to see that every week. Love for that to happen. And then I got Jordan Addison coming back from suspension. But if Jefferson's not getting catches, is Addison going to be a part of that offense as well? So, and then I think Chris Olave, who I just picked up, we'll see what that happens. But
scary.
Yeah, Olave's been a little underwhelming this season, so he's gonna have to perform pretty well for you this week.
Don't disagree with you. Well, before we let you go, I'm going to ask you some NFL predictions. I want to get your thoughts on it. Some of the games that I felt pretty interesting. The first one, which I think is probably the game of the week, Indy at the LA Rams. Kara, what do you think?
I mean, I hate to say Indy because it's in the Texans division, and I am hurting right now because my team is sucking so bad, and Indy is doing so well. Oh, I hate to say Indy. I'm going to have to go with the Rams because I just can't do it. I can't do it.
All right. Ethan, agree, disagree?
I think I agree. Not just because I hate the Colts, but I don't think they go 4-0. But the Rams that's going to be a good game. The Rams are solid. The Colts look super solid. I think it's going to come down to how well that Colts defense can hold the Rams offense.
Mm.
Agree. What about, so obviously people saw, probably if you were in a survivor pool, probably lost my favorite team, the Green Bay Packers. They played Cleveland. Cleveland is now traveling to Detroit and face those Lions, who are on a 2-game winning streak, but lost to the Packers. Ethan, what do you think?
That was one of the most hilarious games I've ever seen. That blocked field goal for Cleveland to then get a game-winning field goal from a kicker who had missed 2 big kicks in the week 1 of the season. I don't think they do it again. I think Detroit wins pretty big. It'd be a miracle if they did it twice in a row. The team's just not talented enough.
Well, I agree on the offensive side. They certainly not. Defensive, I think they're there.
Defense
Kara,
is real.
yeah, the defense is real. Kara, what do you think?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I think the Lions take it.
Baltimore at KC.
Ooh, that's a game.
They're at KC. Very tough to play at. Baltimore, who now you're owner of 2 players from there. I mean, your heart has to be with Baltimore, but is that the reality here?
Well, our heart has to be with Baltimore. However, KC, I mean, they didn't have a good start. They didn't have a good start to the season. They're struggling. They were struggling a little bit. So I don't know if they get back on track now and as they go forward, but I got to go with Baltimore just because I need Henry and Jackson to take it away.
All right, Ethan, your thoughts?
Well, I think the crazy thing is that one of these 2 teams is going to be 1-3 after this week. I think I'm going to go Baltimore too. I think it's going to be close because Baltimore has really been struggling this season to close out games against good teams. Their offense is really going to have to, their defense is going to have to step up against Kansas City's offense, who's been struggling quite a bit without some of their best weapons. But I think Baltimore's going to handle it in Kansas City.
Okay. And the last one I have to ask you, we got Tennessee at Houston Texans. The old and the new Oilers. What says you? What's gonna happen here?
You shouldn't get Ethan started. He's a little upset this season with the Texans. Obviously, they are struggling hardcore on offense, and he's not happy. Ethan, go ahead. Tell it how it is.
Well, the Texans through the first 3 weeks of the season rank dead last in scoring offense, and they're 29th in yards offensively. The play calling has been atrocious. The running game, the O-line, everything's been really bad on the offensive side of the ball. The defense hasn't given up more than 20 points, and we've still lost all 3 games. It's really tough. Like I think our OC should be fired already, but it's too early, obviously, for a professional NFL team to make that decision. I'm gonna go with Houston to win this week though, because we're at home, and Tennessee was described by a Colts wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. as not even looking like they wanted to be out there and playing the game last week. So if we lose to a team like that, I don't know. I think you just gotta gut the entire team or something, because that is unacceptable. So I'll pick the Texans to win this week, but I'm not very confident about the rest of the season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
our heart
honestly.
is always with Houston. It's always with Houston, but yeah.
Understood. And Ethan, I really wish you would open up about your feelings about the team. Felt like you only, you kept it in. So
He keeps it all
next time,
inside.
maybe.
You don't want to know. It's not good right now.
Not pretty.
It's really
This
bad.
is not an hour show. This is, keep them interested for 7-10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ethan, Kara, good luck this week. Thank you for being on the show. And remember, everyone, the guillotine is waiting for its next victim. Good luck this week.
Good luck.
Good luck, guys.